Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. Eric, can we go ahead and go over the rules of public comment?
Sure, as we do every meeting, you can make public comments if you are a resident of the township or if you are a township taxpayer. At the public comment times, please raise your hand until you're recognized. You have 3 minutes to make your comments. Once you have 15 seconds left, I will ask you to complete your comments. For your comments, please come up to the front table, make sure the mic is on, take your seat and state your name and address. Please face the board to make your comments. If you're speaking in the first public comment session that is for agenda items, please identify the agenda item you're going to speak about. Please understand this is not a debate session. It is also not a time for abusive language or profanity. It's solely for comments. We also ask the audience to refrain from crying out or being disruptive. If you fail to abide by these rules, we will ask you to leave and we'll remove you from the meeting. Thank you.
Thanks, Eric. To begin with, are there any public comments on any of the agenda items? Moving on to approval of the minutes. The minutes were in your packet. I'll need a motion on the minutes.
I'll make the motion.
Need a motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
In a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Payment of bills. The bill list is in your packet as well. I'll need a motion on the bills.
I'll make a motion for, the bill list for October 16, 2010.
Hearing the motion, is there a second?
I will second.
Hearing a second, discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Against? Motion carries. Reports. Township Administrator, Michelle.
Good evening, Board. My report is in your packet. Just a couple of things I want to highlight is that we did have a new gal start in the finance department. She is a temp to permanent position, so she'll work 6 months as a temp, and then we will have the opportunity to hire her over. Things are going well. Jeannie, who is currently in finance and HR, has transitioned to administrative assistance. Please note that the training and transition process will take some time, so please be patient with us. Also, once Jeannie has fully transitioned to administrative assistant, she'll become the right to know officer. Also, in your packet is the financial report as of September 30th. Please note that you will receive your 2024 draft budget later this week. There were some changes from the initial draft that you received at the last meeting. That was provided to you, actually was provided after the meeting, I apologize. So there is an updated one coming based on insurance renewals and some other updated information. Please pay attention, we do have a lot going on in the planning department, also in the zoning department. And if you have any questions on anything else that's in my admin report or the financial, I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you.
Questions for the Township Manager? Thanks, Michelle.
You're welcome.
Chief of Police, Jim.
Good evening, Commissioners, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to highlight just a few things. One, I'd like to acknowledge that 3 of our officers were involved in the manhunt that occurred in Chester County. 2 helped with the perimeter one night, and then one of our members is on the SWAT team that went out for a shift. I'd also like to mention that the physical agility was held this past weekend. After no-shows and failures, our current list before interviews stands at 30 applicants. And lastly, I'd like to thank all the township personnel who participated in the Limerick Generating Station drill. We activated the EOC for that drill, and everyone did a great job.
Questions for Jim? Thanks, Jim.
I just want to mention, Trace, that I want to comment and applaud Chief Fisher is our emergency management coordinator, and he did an amazing job at our recent drill. He just was so polished and knew all the answers to everything, and didn't realize at the moment that he had taken all the training. So I just want to acknowledge the chief for his efforts and all the training that he took to accomplish that position.
It was a fatigue pants, well done.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jim. Public Works, Chad?
Good evening, Commissioners. I don't have anything to highlight tonight, but if you have any questions for Public Works, I'd be happy to answer them.
Questions for Public Works? Thanks, Chad. Township Solicitor, Eric?
Nothing that's not already included on the other agenda items, other than we will ask for an executive session on real estate litigation and personnel matters.
Questions for Solicitor? Thanks, sir. Township Engineer, Michelle, anything you want to bring up?
Just as the usual on the planning or on the zoning report, building and zoning, just pay attention to the zoning issues on pages 3 or 4. In the event, we would have to file citations against the property owner going forward. Other than that, I have no other comments on that.
Questions for Engineer? Thanks, Michelle. Tax Collector? Nothing from the Tax Collector. The report was in your packet. Committee Chair reports, Open Space and Rec, Greg's on leave, Chuck's here tonight.
Good evening, Commissioners. Our report is in your packets. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I would like to highlight a couple things with you guys. A couple new agenda items that we're asking for. PICO grant for $10,000, no brainer. It's free money to help us get grant money for the engineering costs of the park. We're looking for you guys to continue support of the park program. I wish I had an ROI program set in my personal accounts for what we get for $8,000 from her. So I do hope you guys pass that in the resolution tonight. And finally, if we'd be okay to send a letter to David Yak Foundation. He's the one who donated the money for the rock topping down at Cecil Park, or Squirrels Run Trail. So that's about it.
Okay, thank you so much.
I have a question, real quick. The $10,000 grant that you're applying for engineering, is that, for our park, which park, Holland Park?
It's for the Holland Park master plan. Starting in the
The
year.
complex, okay.
No match. It's just to help us get the funds.
Yeah, I saw that in there, thank you.
More questions? Thanks, Chuck.
Yep.
Committee Chair reports, Don's not here tonight. The report are in your packet. Any questions for Don or related through Michelle? Okay, good. On the agenda items, old business, new business, you can scratch B and C. We got those extensions. So we're gonna start off with old business A. This is a Sprogle Run project. Michelle?
Yes, Board. So typically, when the application for payment for a project comes in, we just pay it. However, in this case, the amount of the payment application was slightly over what you originally authorized, so therefore it has to come back to you for approval. What happened is they just extended the trail, made it a little wider in certain areas, so the square footage was a little bit greater than on the initial payment. So it's probably only over, I think, about $1,000, if that. So we're asking for your approval to pay construction master services in the amount of $64,957.48.
Hearing Michelle's comment, is there a motion to pay that?
Was that approved from Greg?
Yes.
Is there a motion? Hearing a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Here's a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Old business D. This is a hazardous mitigation plan. That's the real long thing you had to link to. So we had that on agenda before, several time periods ago. If you read through that thing, it has the details. It's pretty long. And Michelle, do you have any comments around that?
I don't have any comments other than I think I mentioned in my email that this is something important for the township to consider in the event we would ever have to apply for county hazard mitigation funds.
Oh, I think she spoke about the last time this came up, and she put out the link, so is there a motion on this?
I read that link for like 330 pages.
It's pretty long.
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
Do the motion, is there a second? I'll second, discussion. All in in favor say aye.
I have a discussion, sorry. 330 pages of small print. A resident advised us to be cautious of this, 3 or 4 months ago, and I did read it in detail. The version we got 3 months ago actually changed a little bit from the one we just got. It was just a couple minor, changes in there. Especially on the new, what they consider hazards. I mean, there's references to global or to climate change. I don't know how you can categorize that and what the actions are gonna be. And one of the hazards they're calling a public health crisis is gun violence. And if, I'd like to see what the remedy is if they consider there'll be gun violence. And I know we were kind of joking, well, we'll just take your guns away. But then, about a month ago, New Mexico declared a public health emergency and suspended Second Amendment rights to address this. Now, that's in the courts, and the courts seem to be supporting that, and I'm not saying I don't support that, but this a couple of things in here, very left-leaning writing here. Again, there was climate change, gun violence, epidemics, and how they would handle it. And while they identify what they could be, they don't really identify the remedies in detail. Is there any way we can adopt this but strike a couple sections of it? No, I didn't think so. And have we ever applied for federal money from the hazardous that anyone's aware of?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, that's all I have to say at this point.
Don, if you'd like, we passed this, it's connected with the funding, but if you want with comments, you can certainly provide them with comments.
Yeah, I do have comments. I started drafting them out. They were for tonight, but they're not in form ready to be sent, but I'll work with you. Again, there's some concerns, and I actually called their number on there, but, I did not get a response yet, so, thank you.
Okay, so we'll continue on with the vote. Don, let's, with passage with comments, if that's what the board wants to do, so all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Against? And motion carries. New business.